Welcome to Council Action. My name is Elizabeth Kautz. I'm the mayor of the city of Burnsville. Council Action is a summary of the council's meeting on Tuesday, October 20th, 2015. The meeting was called to order at 100 Civic Center Parkway in the council chambers at 6:30 p.m. We begin our meetings with a moment of silence and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance was led by Cub Scout Troop 221. And we also had some Boy Scouts there working on their citizens badge. So it's always wonderful when we have the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts who are working on their civic badges and citizens badges, and they come in and they will lead the pledge for us, and they did lead the pledge for us. And then we move on to our announcements and proclamation. Our announcements have to do with all of our upcoming meetings. Council meetings are scheduled for Monday, November 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Now, all of our meetings are held on Tuesday, but because Tuesday, November 3rd, is an election day, and it is not allowed for us to hold council meetings on an election day. So we have scheduled our meeting to be held on Monday, November 2nd at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, November 17th at 6:30 p.m. We have work sessions scheduled for Tuesday, October 27th at 6:30 p.m. and Tuesday, November 10th at 6:30 p.m. We're in the midst of our budget, and we hold budget hearings, and this is a time for members of our community to take part in it. If you wish, please come to City Hall. I'm happy to recognize you if you wish to speak. Our department budget presentations are scheduled for Tuesday, October 27th at 6:30 p.m. Then we have a budget work session on Tuesday, November 10th at 6:30 p.m. Another budget work session on Tuesday, November 24th at 6:30 p.m. And then we adopt the budget and a final levy on Tuesday, December 8th at 6:30 p.m. And then we had a proclamation for Make a Difference Day. And please tune in and hear the proclamation, because Burnsville is a community that is full of compassion, and it makes a difference to the people of our community. And we have wonderful volunteers who make a difference in our community and give up their time and resources. And also during this time and during this day, we also award our Community Builders Award. And since 1998, we have been putting out and we have been awarding our Community Builders Awards. And people of our community nominate people that they think have made a difference and have been community builders. 9 people and a total of 9 people and organizations were awarded the Community Builders Award. And I ask that you please tune into the City Council meeting and hear the efforts that these wonderful people and organizations have done to make a difference in our community. And you can see that this community of Burnsville is filled with people with great heart and great compassion. And I ask that you please tune into the City Council meeting and hear about all of these individuals and organizations who are making a difference in Burnsville. And it was a wonderful group of folks. So thank you to everyone. And then we move on to citizens' comments, and we had 2 people come before the City Council to speak. And one was Mr. Hildebrand, who spoke on behalf of his organization, who is doing work in this area with regard to energy efficiency and climate. And tune in and listen to his presentation. And then Mrs. Dawn Schweben just spoke in support of the organization's work that Mr. Hildebrand represents. We then move on to additions to the final agenda, and there were no emergency items to be added to the agenda. And we move on to the consent agenda. The first item on the consent agenda, we approved all of the minutes of our past meetings. We also approved claims listing, and we approved a resolution and accepted the donations and grants to the city. We also approved and authorized the purchase of replacement for mobile data computers in police vehicles. We approved liquor operating manager for FABAB Burnsville, Inc., doing business as JL Beers. And we approved a resolution certifying continued assessments on first half of 2015 code enforcement assessments. And G, we also approved and continued the code enforcement assessment from September 22nd council meetings. And H, we approved a resolution to support an application for the fire department shared service grant with South Metro Fire Department. We also approved a memorandum of understanding for Burnsville and Savage joint water supply study. And we approved a resolution for a joint powers agreement with Dakota County for engineering and construction of County Road 42 eastbound turn lane extensions and the bridge preservation project. And that was the end of the consent agenda. We move on to the regular agenda, and the first item on the regular agenda was a public hearing, and this is a resolution to vacate a portion of the drainage and utility easements over lots 12, 13, and 14, Block 1, Northview 3rd Edition, to the Minnesota Orchard Gardens subdivision. And that item was presented. I opened a public hearing, and one person spoke, and that is one of the residents who is one of the properties that these easements are being vacated, and was appreciative of the work that he and staff have done to get this item through this process. There were no other people to speak to the item. I closed the public hearing, and the item was approved. We then move on to the next item, and it too was a public hearing, and this was to approve on-sale intoxicating liquor license for Pitapore Brewing Company, doing business as Nutmeg, located at 1905 County Road 42 West, Suite 100. That item was presented, and the investigation was done. There was no reason to deny it. I opened the public hearing. No one spoke to the item, closed the public hearing, and the item was approved. The next item was also a public hearing, and this is an application for Pitapore Properties Investment, LLC, for a plan unit development amendment to allow a change to the exterior of the Nutmeg Brew Pub located at 1905 County Road 42. We were asked to approve the plan unit amendment and then to bring back the findings of fact and an ordinance for adoption after this was reviewed. The item was presented, questions with staff, and I opened the public hearing, and the representative for the owners spoke to the item and why they were looking for the changes. Tune into the City Council meeting and hear the discussion and the clarifications and the issues involved with this particular application. It was approved. And we had directed staff to come back with the findings of fact and the ordinance change, and there was a condition. So please tune in. And the property owner and the owner of Nutmeg agreed to the condition. So that's going to help with the development. So close the public hearing, and the item was approved. There were no other items to come before the City Council, and the meeting was then adjourned. Council action replays at 6 a.m. and noon, 6 p.m. and midnight. City Council meetings replay at various times on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And I encourage you to watch the following to see how you can view past meetings and current meetings via the internet at www.burnsville.org. I'm Elizabeth Kautz, Mayor of the City of Burnsville. Thank you for joining me, and continue to make a difference.